a little white humor there. To Mr. Anonymous, or Mrs. Anonymous, or Miss Anonymous, the criticality of free election, and the appointment of a president or any elected official, that is a matter of absolute state security. That is one that we have to, as law enforcement, whether state, local, or federal, take with a great deal of seriousness and critical issue. I will tell you that the security of presidential candidates is one of, as you know, is the Secret Service. They work very closely with LAPD when those candidates, even candidates, are appearing in this region. There are great inconveniences to the public, as you might be aware. Anytime there's movements on the ground or in the air regarding restricted air traffic and traffic and movement on the ground. So I will assure you that whether it's Mr. McCain or Senator McCain or Senator Obama, there are stringent measures being made. I don't know that you can do anything more than an A+. I will tell you, having experience with Secret Service presidential details and having experience with presidential elections and their candidates, there is no tighter security than that expressed by the federal, state, and local government for securing the safety of those individuals.
I think the question had to relate to, like when the Reginald Denny case came up against the police officers.
Yes. We are sensing, as to the public reaction to the election of Mr. McCain, or Senator McCain or Senator Obama, we are, at this point, I am aware of no information of any public unrest other than to the opposing candidate that you would have in any typical election. There's a gentleman up here that probably would wish to have some public outcry should they be defeated, but we're not hearing of any action that a group is going to take if Senator Obama wins versus Senator McCain winning. There are rumors, there are hate speak, if you will, rhetoric that we hear, but nothing substantiated, nothing actionable, and I feel that we're going to have a very safe and successful election. And as to whoever survives that as elected or president-elect, I don't believe that we'll see public violence or any type of civil unrest.
Thank you. You can sit down, Joe.
I'm more comfortable, I have to tell you, standing up.
Okay.
If you don't mind.
No, I don't care. You got the gun. Nancy Khalil, you want to stand up? This is an interesting question. This is a different type of a hate than what we spoke about tonight. With an intent to take away equal rights from a category of Californians, why aren't the perpetrators of Yes on 8 prosecuted for hate crimes?
The Proposition 8, I believe, is to legislatively invoke a requirement that a marriage only occur between a man and a woman. Is that correct? In contrast to the state Supreme Court that has decided that that is not a requirement for a state of marriage. It is the same legislature that determines what constitutes a hate crime, and is very clear as to defining the categories in which a hate crime can occur. And presently, the category of yes on 8 or no on 8 does not constitute a hate crime.
Okay. Wilma, if you're here, can you stand up? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Absolutely.
Legislation in this case isn't necessarily criminal. ADL is opposed to Proposition 8. We support equal rights for marriage. But again, it does have to be criminal, and that's not necessarily criminal. But it's a good point, and I think some people are concerned that this proposition will criminalize speech. But as far as I know, that's not the case. I'm not a lawyer, but.
And let me be clear that as a public official, it would not be appropriate for me to voice support or opposition to that proposition. I can only give you the definition of how it does not apply to be a hate crime.
Okay. How are you going to vote? Okay. The next question is from Wilma. Wilma, you here? Okay. Here you are. Okay. Thank you. When a neighbor's son and his 3 friends shaved their heads, I innocently thought they had been initiated into a sports team. Then one day I stepped outside my gate to retrieve my mail. One of them shouted, "Here comes the Jew." How should I have reacted?
You should have called LAPD, and that is a hate incident. It is it's hate speech. It gives LAPD an opportunity to meet with that family and understand the parents who are dealing with those juveniles, and communicate with them what their juveniles, what their sons or daughters are out there doing and espousing, and to take corrective action in regards to effective parenting, more effective parenting. It's conduct that shouldn't be ignored, nor should it be allowed.
And if I can just add, if something like that does happen, as Deputy Chief Moore mentioned, it's a hate incident, it's not criminal, but we know that it starts at the level of speech, of hate speech. So you should also let Anti-Defamation League know about these things, because again, we do track them. We track anti-Semitic incidents in addition to hate crimes. And every year we do put out what we call our audit of anti-Semitic incidents. So we have a national audit, which means they go up nationally, as well as a statewide audit. So we are concerned about these issues. Please let us know if something happens in your workplace or at your children or grandchildren at school. Also let us know, because there are things that we can do, even if it's not criminal.
If this were to be reported to the Los Angeles Police Department, do they automatically report to the ADL, or do you monitor there?
We work cooperatively together. That incident would have resulted in an entry in a report, what we call a morning report, which we share with ADL each day.
Okay.
So they would get notification, and that means. But let me speak again to the issue of first you think it, then you say it, and you do it. And so the expression of hate and that type of violence towards another individual, it's not the initial thing. It's not just a remark. It's the first thought that it's expressed, and it's not addressed. It becomes acceptable to act out.
Okay. And this is kind of a follow-up to this. This is from Larry Smoller. If you're here, please stand up. Thank you. You don't have to stand up, but you can raise your hand. Thank you. Where in the San Fernando Valley do the skinheads operate, and what is the trend in the anti-Semitic incidents? What is the trend in anti-Semitic incidents in the San Fernando Valley?
Well, Matt and I may, I don't know what his answer is going to be, so let me give you mine right now, my assessment of it. Anti-Semitic activity, white supremacist activity, we have seen a recent increase in 2008. I've been out in the valley. My most recent tour, this is going my 4th year. 2006 and 7 was a little slower. This year 8 has certainly come back at us. We're looking at trying to understand why that is. We believe that we have some individuals that have been either released from prison or have moved into the area. Somehow they reactivated this practice. I will look back though to say in 2005 and 4, we had flyers that were being distributed and hate speech that was going on, in addition to vandalism and other acts that in my estimation was peaked in 2004-5, died down in 6-7, and then has come back and reared its ugly head in 2008. It never disappeared, but it runs in cycles. And what helps us is when we can identify the perpetrators and we can make arrests and we can demonstrate there's a consequence to that type of action. When I talk about flyers, that's not a criminal act, but it's still an expression that oftentimes invokes a response that other people believe is acceptable now to engage in this type of hate speech. And so then they progress to vandalism and those type of instances. One other expression that we've seen increase this year is some attacks against religious institutions. Not necessarily, well, we had the, you may have remembered some firebombing that we had a couple, 3-4 years ago. This year we've actually had, I believe it's 4 different instances of firebombing at Protestant churches, mostly storefront churches in the northern part of the San Fernando Valley. We don't believe they're related one to the other, but again, it's really odd. And if you look at percentage